I hit the wrong button. Hi everyone. Sorry, there's a new OBS out, in case nobody knows, and they added a monitor button next to things, and I click that instead of the unmute button. And they also tell you when audio's in the preview panel. Man, OBS, you should update it more often. Nice. That's pretty great. That's super helpful. Nice, yeah. I also like being able to monitor something by not having to go into the settings and turning on monitoring. That was it's pretty great. I should click.
Does the monitoring does it actually work now, or does it still do that thing where you change the monitoring audio source and you have to reboot it?
No, I heard myself immediately at a slight delay, and it was okay. It was
maybe they finally fixed it.
They got it.
Nice.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Will Crosby. This is Local Chat 239. Joining me, the lovely Ian Gibson, and even dare I say lovelier, Kyle Bailey.
Me? Thank you.
Yeah. We're here to talk about video games and all sorts of things. I want to talk about, you hadn't finished your bathroom when you last episode, right? 2 weeks ago? Because you posted the pictures right after. You had finished that morning.
Yeah, that's right. No, I finished the next morning. I was finishing that day. That day.
That's what it was. I just want to say that bathroom looks fantastic.
It's very fancy. It's too fancy.
Yeah, how many times have you used it since then?
I've used the toilet maybe 10 times now. I have finished in the finished bathroom.
Oh, God.
Wow. I used the shower. I haven't used the tub yet. I have been thinking about doing that.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's too fancy. And the reason why I say that is, as Maggie put it, now when she leaves the bathroom, she looks at the kitchen, she goes, this looks like shit. So I think I have to do a kitchen remodel now.
Oh, no.
God.
Oh, no.
Which is going to be, it's bigger, but also less because I'm not doing tile or anything. It's basically just replacing like the cabinets and the countertop and the backsplash.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not actually doing like a huge amount of drywall, and it's not like, again, I'm not replacing tile or anything. But again, I'm not going to have a kitchen for that time period. So I'm like, yeah, I think I have to remodel the kitchen because it needs to be done, and I'm not going to pay somebody like $40,000 to do it. That's dumb.
Yeah, pay yourself. You actually get that money if you pay yourself the money.
I wish.
Cool
trick. I charge Maggie for it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it all works. Ian, you have also written things here on the chit chat section.
Trains.
I was hoping we were going to tackle. Yeah, trains.
Yeah, I went to a train convention this weekend, a model train convention. It's funny. I went to this model train convention 2 years ago because I was like, oh, it's a model train convention. They've got to have like scale models, which is what I was doing at the time. And I was a little disappointed because I didn't have many scale models there, and it was just a lot of model trains. But now that I'm into model trains, I was like, hey, that's a good model train convention. So yeah, I went to a model train convention. It was that's like an hour and a half away. It's basically between Jacksonville and Orlando. And it was great. There were kind of two things that stuck out. Number one was I am building a model train layout, and it's Japanese. Well, sorry, I should say it's N scale Japanese themed. Mm-hmm. And Will, have you been to a model train convention? You've been to like model train stores, right?
I've been to everything model train. I've been to stores. I've been to conventions. I've been to basement meetups.
Orgies. Yeah. Swinger parties. Then you can probably guess that there was not a lot of N scale there. It was like 90% HO scale.
Yeah.
And then I saw some O scale stuff, but there was some stuff where I don't know what the scale was, but where the trains were like a locomotive was like 3 feet long. Like there were a couple tables of just like
above G.
Yeah, probably above G. It wasn't like ride-on scale, but it was like it was a little bit below that. It was double O.
For the non-autistic in our audience, can you explain what N scale is?
It's literally just what the scale of the model is. So yes. N scale is basically 1 to 150. So this is bad. I mean, literally 1 foot in real life is 1/150th of a foot in this scale. And so for N scale, it basically means that like a normal subway car or locomotive is about 3 to 4 inches long. HO is probably closer to like
180.
8 inches long, I would say. Yeah. And HO is very popular. HO is very popular all across the world, but it's especially popular in America. So the problem is I go to this train show. I'm making N scale, which means I want N scale trains, although I already have the trains, but I want N scale scenery, right? I don't want to have a giant building that's out of scale with the rest of the layout. So I couldn't find a lot of N scale there, but I did find some. There was some N scale, but then the problem was when I found N scale, it was all American N scale. So it was like American oil refinery, and I'm like, that doesn't really fit in the Japan layout. Or like they had good prices, like they're Big Oil got there. Like they had good prices. Like there were people selling, like they would have like 80 to 100 N scale cars. I don't think any of them were powered locomotives, but they were like freight cars and passenger cars and stuff. And they were like anywhere between like $4 to $8 a car, which is great because you could make it like a 10-car train, N scale train for like $50. But all of it was American. And again, I already have my main train, my subway train, and I have my tram. So I didn't really need trains. So it was fun there going there. The interesting thing though was that there were several people with layouts up, but there were 2 big layouts. One of the layouts was probably like 15 feet by 30 feet. And it was a loop. So it's not like the whole thing was decorated, but it was a 30-foot by 15-foot loop, and the loop was decorated. And that was all N scale. And then there was another loop about half that size that was decorated and was N scale. So it was interesting to see no HO layouts, and it was just N scale layouts, but most of the tables were selling HO. So it feels like, I don't know if you know this well, but it feels like N scale is, it feels like HO scale is on the slow decline and N scale in America is on the slow uptake, is what it feels like.
Probably. I think that's mostly due to, welcome to the Train Podcast, everybody. Happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
I think that's because Japan is very big into N scale. And then and they have fantastic manufacturers out of Japan too. And the problem is like the model market is very big in Japan as well, because model making and all that sort of stuff. So I think N scale, I don't think N scale's, it's not that it's taking over, it's that I think places are making HO now because they want to get that N scale market. And then everyone in America, I mean, I don't care what type of models you're building, you've probably imported something from Japan because they've made a great version of whatever you're into for model making. So like, I think that's why that's on the uptick, because even like old timers who might not build in N scale are probably ordering stuff from Japan and whatever's popular and switching over to that. But I think one of my favorite layouts, you just reminded me of this, as have you ever seen the layouts where they put the HO and N scale farther away and then they have a G scale up front? I've seen that once. So they do like the fake mountain.
It's like a forced perspective.
Yeah, it's so good every time.
That's great.
It looks very cool. Sorry, you were gonna say?
But I'm glad you mentioned old timers, because that was kind of the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is that there's a lot of old people at these, because I do think model trains is an old person's hobby. It wasn't just old people, but it was just, it's always kind of interesting to see the amount of people who have a huge collection and are selling it off. You know, they're in their like 60s and 70s, or like the couple in their 60s that run a train shop in Tampa and have been there for decades. And like, they know all their customers by name, to the extent that like, while I was at the table, like customers would come up and they'd be like, "Oh, hey Bill, how's it going?" And like, they knew this customer either from all the shows they go to, or because they're a regular at their store 2 hours away, you know? But it's helpful that these people are old, because they're dying. And so I'll give you an example. Like, one of the things I'm going to have to start doing is terrain, which means like, I don't know why I said that like an airplane warning. Terrain, pull up,
slow down.
I've been playing too much.
Sounds like the word train with a southern accent.
Terrain, get on that terrain.
No, it's the Kennedy accent.
Yeah,
get on the terrain.
But yeah, so like, I'm starting to do the terrain, which is like, I need dirt and I need grass and all this stuff. and they sell little baggies where you get like a cup or two of like the fine dirt and stuff. And those bags are probably $5 or $6 each. But I went to this one table and it was this older lady in her 60s behind the table, and the table had all this stuff out there, and I could tell the stuff was from somebody's collection. And it was like glues and like unused stuff. And she had this little cardboard box full of all these bags of different types of terrain. And I was looking at it, and had like leaves and like fall leaves and all this stuff. And I was like, this is all really good. And it was all $1 each. And so I was talking to her, and she's like, and I was like, oh, you got some good stuff here. And she goes, oh yeah, well, it's my sister's husband. He passed away 3 years ago, and we're slowly been selling off the collection, and this is the last stuff left. Wow. And I was like, that's great. And she's like, yeah, just make me an offer. And I was like, can I have this whole box? And I just handed her the box, and she counted it, and it was 11 bags, sealed bags of terrain for $11. And I was like, fucking great. Yeah. So it's great that they're dying off, because I'm getting all their stuff for cheap.
You're like, call me up when your husband dies, you know? It'll be great.
Call me when you die. Yeah.
I want your husband.
But it's cool. It's just, I always have an affinity for old people. There's something about old people that I just get along with really well. Like there was an old couple in their 60s or 70s, and they had a resin printing business. And I know that because it was resin printing. So it was a bunch of like N scale and HO scale. Like I bought a bag of like forklifts and pallets in N scale from them, and it was all just resin printed. But they also sold like circuits of like, oh, here's a flickering light on a circuit that looks like a campfire and stuff. And then there was an older guy that I was looking at a picture of like these 4 trains in front of a nice tall building. And he was like, oh, it's a nice picture. I'm like, yeah, it's a nice picture. And he goes, oh, they got that in 47. And they had there was all 3 locomotives there. And it was down in front of the Miami station. And the 4th one broke down right there. But before they could pull it away, the camera guy pulled out the camera. It's actually a really nice picture, but it was like $50. I could probably find it online and print it, but it was a cool picture. And then there was another one where I didn't have the conversation with the guy. I was at a table, and behind me, I just heard this old guy talking to this old lady, and they must have been friends. And he goes, can I tell you something? Let me tell you something I told my wife. When I die, I want my collection. And I didn't catch the rest of it, but he was basically like living will to one of his friends in the train. And I was just like, this is wholesome as hell. And it's great to go back to the show now, being more in the hobby and like having an eye at things. Maybe my next layout should be HO. It'd have to be bigger, but also
that's the problem.
More stuff to buy. More American HO, I'll be swimming in shit for sure.
I have a shit ton of HO stuff too. Like I had a friend in high school.
It's time for you to do the layout.
They were getting rid of, his dad was getting rid of all his train stuff, and he's like, "Do you want boxes of train stuff?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do,
buddy."
It's like a McDonald's.
I've seen your basement. I've seen your basement. You got plenty of room for an HO.
I'm trying to set up a workshop down there. It's funny. I speaking of misheard or not getting to finish hearing the thing at PAX East. We were walking out of a restaurant, and I heard these 2 business guys were walking out the other way, and they go, he's like, dude, did you hear Rick's legendary comment at the sexual harassment training today? That's all legendary. I heard. I tried as hard as I could to hear what Rick had said, but I was just like,
never know.
These guys are incredible. Like the fact that they think it's amazing a guy had a zinger at a sexual harassment seminar.
My God.
Is wild. Also, speaking of things, getting good deals on things. Homeboy, I talked about how I discovered Godzilla for the PlayStation 4 is worth money. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to sell that. I haven't sold it yet, but I've already spent the money I'm going to get for selling it, which is exactly what you want to do. I just keep forgetting to post it. So I bought myself a new camera, and it's this sucker right here.
Ooh,
it is
look at that.
Yashica Electro 35 GT, and I got a random Instagram reel about it, and then I looked it up. The guy's like, they're cheap. I was like, hell yeah. So I bought this. It's this guy used a acronym which was assembled, lubed, and checked. And I was like, what?
Oh, ALC.
But yeah, it was like, so they put it back together. These things have apparently called the pad of death, which is like it's made of like 60s and 70s. It's like a little foam pad, so it just disintegrates. And you have to get it there and fix it. And this was fixed with the pad. And it makes a nice, huge clunk when you wind the camera and everything.
Nice.
And so I got this, and then I wanted to order... what I really wanted to get was a lens hood, but the lens hoods specifically for this, for some reason, are like $80 to $100 just cause.
Oh, buddy.
And so I was like, okay, I'm not paying that amount of money. I did 3D print one.
3D.
I was going to say
3D
3D.
I was about to say, just 3D print
1000%.
one.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
grab it after. I 3D printed one for sure because I was like, I'm just going to use that. But I ordered this box of accessories for. It's not accessories. It's accessories for this camera, but the regular version of this camera. And so I was like, oh, I'll buy that box of accessories for $30. Came with a wide angle attachment. It's a rangefinder, so you can't remove the lens, but it came with a wide angle attachment and a telephoto attachment, and all this stuff. And I was like looking through the box, and in that box is the original hood for one of these cameras, which I paid
Nice.
$30 for this thing. That hood, not in any of the pictures of the box with stuff, because I remember specifically looking for it. So I was really pumped about that. But yeah, I printed a hood, and then I printed like a 3D printed handle that I just need to screw in, which crazy enough, I own no like 1/4-inch tripod screws, like extras of those, because they're all good with
I have
the,
like
the
20
tripods.
of those. Oof, yeah.
Like, and I don't build out cameras, so I've never needed hardware. So I was like, where do I? So I just bought cheap ones off Amazon, and I'll screw it in. But yeah, I'm gonna. We're going to. There's a canal day at one of the local towns, on Saturday, and so we're gonna go there, and I'm just gonna shoot some photos.
Nice.
I'm very excited.
When you said you're going to spend money, I thought, part of me wondered if you bought the new, I forget the name of it, the new backplate. Have you seen the backplate?
No, what's the back plate?
So short answer is, it's a company that's done a backplate before. Again, I forget the actual name they use for it, but essentially it is I think it's a 28 megapixel sensor that fits inside the back of 35mm cameras. Like, it just takes the roll spot.
Oh, yes.
And they announced a new version. I think it's like $450, but it has like, it's like 64 gigs of onboard storage. You can pull the photos off on Wi-Fi. And I think it's a 1-inch sensor that just sits behind it. And it's like nicely made and everything. And they've done it 3 or 4 times before, and this is their latest version. And I was like, I mean, I know you like taking film and shipping it off, but at the same time, I know that costs money. And so I was like,
oh yeah.
If I got into 35mm or whatever, I would probably spring for the back plate.
And not only that, like, if those become somewhat cheap enough, I would get one to test cameras with. Or if
that's a
like
good
I
point.
wanted a specific look on something, only because like that'd be invaluable in testing stuff. It's like this whole thing, like, the guy's a very trusted seller, but I could finish shooting this and it's just a dud camera. I did notice, I don't think this guy would stake his reputation on covering up a few spots, like spots where the black paint has been removed and you see the metal underneath. But I was touching this, and Karen keeps noticing black soot on my face and on my hands, and I guess whoever owned it previously had rubbed like black powder or something, like almost like whiteout, into a few spots that I discovered. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, I think it looks awesome, scuffed up a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Someone
So real quick,
really cares.
this is called I know now why I didn't remember it, because it's a terrible fucking name. The company is called I'm Back.
Yeah.
And it's called the Roll. This is specifically the I'm Back Roll APS-C. And it's they've done it a couple times before, but this is their newest version. Everybody seems to love them. So definitely take a look at it if anybody's interested in that. That's on Kickstarter right now.
We're $652,000 on Kickstarter. That's crazy.
Yeah. People have used their previous
Kickstarter.
versions, and they have example pics. It works really well. I think for me, the coolest version is that, because I've seen these before, but the problems people have is getting them to fit in a wide range of cameras. Whereas before, people are like, oh, we made this for the most popular 2 or 3 35mm cameras, and it's a very bespoke solution. And the other thing is having to open it up to pull it off an SD card. But this has like I said, onboard storage and it's Wi-Fi. So basically, once you install it, you just Wi-Fi pull it off of it. I think, and then probably charge it, I guess. But you don't have to keep removing it or opening it up and touching it.
This is too much money. Like, give me like,
buddy, you just sold your Godzilla. I know you did because you said so.
Yeah, Godzilla's not worth that much money.
It's cool though.
Just sell the lens cap.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to shoot with it this weekend and spend a couple rolls. I don't know. I was like, it's very rare that you see someone recommend a camera and then it's relatively cheap, and I'm just like, I could buy this now and have it, and it's all fixed up, and I shouldn't have to worry about anything. So I jumped to. Oh,
do you take your film to a lab or do you do it yourself?
I take it to a lab. I send it off to the dark room in California. I don't know where in California they are. Because they're relatively cheap. Everywhere else I've checked is way more expensive. I want to do it myself. Two problems with doing it myself: you can mess up, obviously, but it's very sciencey.
That's
so I don't like, as long as you're timing it and doing the right solutions, like, you're not really gonna mess up that much. And the second thing is all the chemicals expire relatively quickly. So if you're not like constantly doing it, it's not like you can be like, oh, I've had these chemicals for a while now, time to use them. No, they expire pretty quick. So I do really want to get into doing that, mostly because I have a room that also has no windows, and I could just put a red light in there and do like cool noir-y things.
Do, 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 do. That's the song that plays.
That's the song? Oh, wait, okay. So yeah, she's fucking him. Oh, I see it. Yeah, on the photo.
Classic line from Double Indemnity.
Yeah, I love, double the men in me is the porn parody.
That's my line.
Kyle, any life updates you want to share? Any train festivals and or cameras purchased?
No. I did purchase something for. I have a DJI Ronin 4 that I bought for doing like weddings and just to have and play around with. And quite unbeknownst to me, they sold I don't know if it's a LiDAR, but it's like a thing that clips on. And you attach via USB-C that basically acts like a LiDAR tracking system for people. And it will just automatically follow the subject and turn so that you're not having to like kind of... Yeah. Like if you've ever used a Ronin before, it's very much like, oh, this is cool. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to track something if it's not straight on or if you're not like having a still object. And this... sort of enables you to do tracking with people. They don't have object tracking yet, but people are saying that that's like a firmware update that's coming, which would be amazing because the amount of weddings that I've done or just the amount of times that I've used it for like promo videos where like someone is walking side to side or, has to like come up onto a different plane than you start on. It's really useful. So I've been playing around with that and it was only like $60 or $70. I was surprised. I thought it would be like $200, but it works really nice, really well with the system, and it's pretty cheap. So props to DJI. But other than that, I haven't really bought much new stuff.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah! I got those. I've used them a tiny bit, but I told you, Ian, I picked up those DJI mini mics, the mini wireless mics,
the tiny ones,
the tiny ones. They're fantastic. I mean, for what they are, they have their whole case, everything's together. Paid $20 for the iPhone accessory thing for some stupid reason, but it's all pretty cool.
What's the iPhone accessory thing?
It's just so it comes with the USB-C plug to plug into a phone. You have to buy the Lightning adapter separately. I was just like,
oh, and the Lightning adapters. Wait.
Do you still have an iPhone with a Lightning adapter?
I do still have an iPhone with a Lightning.
Oh, okay.
But my way, if it's just USB-C to Lightning. Why is that $20? Why can't you just buy a USB-C to Lightning?
I don't think I don't think it works with generic, but also the adapter itself is like in the like slot. It's like an electrical connecting slot thing. But I think you might. Hindsight hit me after I bought it, Ian, where I thought, I bet I could have just bought a converter like that, but I was just checking out and like buying.
I mean, this isn't your fault. this is Apple's fault, to be clear,
yeah,
for
1000%.
running the Lightning connector
But,
for so long. Yeah.
But yeah, they're great. They're I feel like
I have the
mic technology has come a long way.
The non-mini ones, the second version of them. I have had them for like 2 years now, and they're awesome. Like they're so convenient. They sound great. They have noise cancellation or suppression, and like they have that little magnetic clip on the back. That's like if you don't want it to have like a actual clip on the shirt or something like that, it's great. So I'm all in on, and I like their design. Like it's like sort of a throwback to like the 90s where you can like, it's got that translucent face. You can kind of see under it. It's cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Folks, it's time to talk about video games, and I'm going to make Kyle go first because I want to hear about Death Stranding 2 for the PC.
That's it. Actually, I'm going to start with Marathon, if you don't mind. Sorry.
I want to hear about Marathon for the PC.
There you go. So Jake, our lovely Jake, our favorite boy, bought me Marathon when it came out. And he and I and a few other friends of ours, we sort of played together. You can do like duos on certain maps, but mostly it's trios. And we played a couple rounds over a couple different days. And I think I've sunk maybe like 20 hours into it in total. I fell off hard, like really hard. Like I have not touched it in 2 weeks, kind of like that. Yeah. That's the reality of it. It wasn't a game that I was planning on buying. So the fact that I played it at all is just due to Jake purchasing it for me. But it is almost exactly what I thought it would be, which was like a passing fancy. I really don't think it has much staying power outside of the few uber dedicated fans of it. I'm interested like to hear Jake talk about it. I know he's been writing a script for video. I also don't think it's like that good just overall. Like it's fine, but there's nothing about it that really stands out other than the design of everything, which is not enough to hold up a game long term.
Yeah.
And I had a good time with it when I played, but it wasn't enough of a difference between other experiences I've had, even with extraction shooters that I did like Arc Raiders, which I also haven't played in quite some time, that I would foresee going back to it. And for some reason, the extraction part of it feels more punishing than other extraction shooters I've played. I don't know if that's due to just like the really hardcore players being more prevalent than the sort of like noob players or the average players like me, but I died a lot. Me and Jake had this running gag where we would like start playing and then we would like, okay, we have to lose 2 rounds before we can even think about winning, because we would just always lose like when we started. And to me, that's not very fun. And I don't know. I kind of just fell off it. It's fine. You know, I don't think Bungie's going to make its money back, or Sony for that matter. But I also just don't see it having much staying power longer than maybe a year or two. And I also think that Ian's prediction of Bungie going like up in flames is sort of spot on and remains spot on. Maybe not up in flames, but definitely they're going to have some hard talks with Sony.
So I have not played this game, but I've been watching you guys play it and hearing a lot of people and hearing the takes from the industry and looking into the reviews and everything. And Kyle, I think the reason why you don't like this game is because you play video games. So you said, hey, this game isn't doing anything new or unique other than its design. And I think that's kind of hit the nail on the head, right? Which is that most of the people that really love this game, and I don't know why, but it's a lot of gaming journalists that really fucking love this game. And it feels like they're really trying to pitch hit for Bungie here when they don't need to. Sorry, I don't mean to throw shade there, but it's weird to see game journalists love this game more than the general public when it's not doing anything new. But for a lot of them, they're like, oh my God, guys, I just had this very intense encounter, and then insert generic battle royale / extraction shooter / Arma encounter that have been happening for the last 6 or 7 fucking years. Right. So it's like, again, it's not that the game's bad. From what everybody says, the game is great for what it is. But the problem is that it's the same thing that is across a dozen other games now, across 3 or 4 different types of genres. And so people are having fun in experiencing these like these crazy moments that are happening to them. But even those crazy moments aren't unique to this game in any way in terms of mechanics or setting or gameplay. They're just describing the same types of moments that, Will and I have had on an Arma Reforged stream, or that I've had in, any sort of PUBG match. So it's weird. I think you're exactly right. This is a very well-made game, but it's not doing anything new. And that's just not fucking good enough, especially in a crowded, very sticky market like extraction shooters, where you already have Arc Raiders and Tarkov, etc.
I think that also speaks to maybe why Jake is enjoying it, is because I don't think Jake has played a lot of extraction shooters. So it probably is sort of fundamentally of a newer experience than someone like me or someone like you guys who have played a decent amount of them over the years. But yeah, it is interesting that it seems like journalists are sort of rallying, or at least did rally, behind the release of this thing. And I was really surprised at the scores, and even some of the reviews in progress were really positive. And I was like, I mean, it's good, but it's not like stand out. Oh my gosh.
It's also,
but I think just real quick, I think part of it also is, this isn't countering what you're saying, Kyle, at all, but I do feel like this is one of those games where, especially with extraction shooters, the more you play of the game, the more you become invested in the game, because the initial difficulties of the game go away as you start to understand the game, and also you have a gear accumulation. So now you're starting to become obsessed about the gear you're playing. And when you're reviewing a game, they're not going to play this game for 4 hours and go, I don't like this, it's not for me. They're going to have a minimum amount of play time that they're going to play this game, especially when Bungie heavily recommended. It was not mandated for the reviews, but Bungie was basically like, hey, you should really not review this game when it comes out because we have other events coming. And so for the reviewers, they felt obligated to play dozens and dozens and dozens of hours of this game. And at that point, it's like a thing I have with music, where sometimes I will listen to an album and I don't like it, but then by the 5th listen, I'm like, I think I like it, but I'm not sure if I just recognize the music now, and therefore it is familiarity that makes me like it. And I think that's part of the problem here with the reviewers, is that they're putting more time into this game than, quite frankly, the game deserves. And at that point, they feel like they like the game, even though it's just familiarity at that point.
Yeah, I also think that a lot of the events that they've done are not. And let me see. I've 19 hours in Marathon. I just checked, and there were a couple events that were like weekend things where I forget what it's called, like the Crypt or something. You go onto the ship, Archive. The Marathon, the Cryo Archive. That's what it is.
It's their raid, their end game.
Yeah. And it's, it's very intense, and it doesn't happen, during the week. So you kind of build up to it. And I had found like a legendary key for one of the raids, and we went in, used it, and the stuff we got was like marginally better than maybe like a slightly rare thing you would get on a normal one.
It's only per person, right? Like it doesn't drop copies of everything. It's just like, here's one item, who wants it? Right.
We had, the team that I rolled with was me, my friend Jimmy, and then he had one other guy that he had met, and we all had keys. So like we could all go and like get stuff. But even, I think we had 3 keys between the 3 of us, and none of us got stuff that was like legendary. So it was like, well, what's the point of that? Like, what was like?
Well, they need you to keep playing the game.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Bungie, they know live service design, which unfortunately is that.
I was gonna say also with
sorry, just real quick.
No, you're not cutting in. You're not cutting in with the.
Did you see they added Battle Royale today?
No.
Did you see they added Battle Royale? Basically,
I'm muting you. You're muted.
Okay, go ahead.
The other thing with the journalist stuff is you have that built-in people to play a multiplayer game with, which is the other people reviewing the game. So like that's why, especially with a lot of these multiplayer games, they come out hotter with it, because not only it's like the opposite of the stuff with like Jake's first, extraction shooter, where it's like they have that set of people to play with, so they can have those encounters right out the gate. And even though they might have had those encounters before, that they can then focus on the things that are different and not have to worry about who am I going to play with tonight and stuff like that. And I think I have 4-ish hours with it, and we did those couple streams.
Yeah.
And I think like I'm not going to play it again. I got it for a fairly cheap price. So like I don't care that I spent money on it. I mean, I care a little bit, but if someone's like, hey, I need a third person and we're going to play Marathon tonight, I'd be like, oh, okay, sure. Like, I'll play Marathon. Like, it was fun to play. But that last stream we did, or was it a stream where I was just playing with Jake? Like, every single match we died within like the first 2 minutes. And it was so annoying. It was very annoying.
Can I ask something though? Can I say something a little brutal here? So I watched those streams. I probably watched half of them. And Jake's the one streaming, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is an intense shooter, and it kind of reminds me a lot of Arma and Tarkov in that you can't dick around, but you also have to think tactically, you know, which means like you can't just run and gun, but you also can't hide in a corner. You got to know like your small unit tactics, and having somebody loot on the other side of the building or not pressing an advantage is very punishing. And I think you guys were struggling in those streams because, no offense to Jake, but there were moments where I was just like, what are you doing? Why are you going that way? Like why are you guys 100 meters apart from each other? Like, your callouts don't make sense when you're in different fucking, you know, so that's part of it as well, is like this game is surprisingly, when we talked about Marathon years ago, it was like, I was excited to see what they did, because I think the extraction shooter, there needs to be an entry-level extraction shooter. We still don't have that. Arc Raiders is close only because everybody's so friendly and the game kind of nudges you to be friendly with each other, right? And I thought Marathon was going to be like an entry-level user-friendly. And it's not, folks. It's just an extraction shooter with a different skin on it, but it still is very punishing, especially with the PvE elements. It feels like even the scrubs, the NPCs around the map can wipe you pretty easily if you're not paying attention.
And like, to your point as well, like, I totally agree with you, but also like, hey, I don't want to play a tactical game right now. I'm playing this multiplayer game to turn my brain off. Stop making me think tactically and being like, oh, this game's so easy to get into and so easy to play. Oh, but you got outflanked, outmaneuvered by this guy. And like that's the huge problem right now. It's like, multiplayer games are tactical and stuff, but like booting up Halo 2 and Halo 3, there's some tactics in those death matches and stuff, but I'm not
but there's
sitting
minimal
there
punishment.
being like, exactly. You respawn right away. Where I think the next extraction shooter, if they continue to make more to figure that part out, and like make that less of a thing, is going to do a lot better, because you'll be able to mix that up. Like whatever extraction shooter where it's like you immediately respawn and continue extracting shooter. It's like, how is that not a thing yet? It's just
So just two things I want to say real quick. Number one is just talking about the battle royale. They didn't add a battle royale mode, but what they added was a new mode where everybody goes in with what do they call it? What do they call your basic kit, your free kit?
Sponsor kit?
Sponsor kit.
Sponsor kit, yes. So everybody has to enter the match with the sponsor kit and then loot their guns around the map as they're playing. And apparently it's very popular. And there were I saw an article today. I was a gaming journalist being like, wow, this changes the game up so much. It's so great. I'm like, it's just a battle fucking royale. Like, the only difference between that and a battle royale is that multiple people can extract now, but that's it.
It's also,
like that's been around since before
it's also like
PUBG.
Gun
it's just
game,
free.
right?
It's free for all. Pick up weapons, like multiplayer match. Like
TF2 had that. Like,
it's like, it turns out if we take away the things that make Marathon unique compared to other games, then it gets better. Then it's like, that's a problem, people. Like, that's a fucking problem. But the other thing is, just to cover my ass a little bit, I'm not saying that it's a problem when game journalists like a game more than the general public. Like, think about something like Disco Elysium. I'm almost certain that game is loved by gaming journalists and game critics way more than the general public, but there's a reason for that, and it's because it's a very smart, it's a very nuanced game. Like there's a certain amount of like media literacy you have to approach that, and to like, you know, wrap your hands around a text-heavy game like that. And it's like, okay, I understand it. This is a bit more of a highbrow game, and gaming journalists tend to be more highbrow than the public. But like you're saying, Kyle, there's nothing except for the aesthetic in Marathon that justifies why it should be getting review scores above a 7 out of 10 or whatever. Like, they're just not delivering enough on it.
It even does, like, my least favorite thing about so many Bungie games that, like, outside of Halo, mostly Destiny is what I'm talking about. The way that they present the story is like atrocious to me. Like I can't, like you will go through your list of like thousands of updates after you've completed one single quest. It's like, oh, well, there's like 3 things you have notifications for now. And you double click one of them thinking like, I'm just going to clear this. And then it shoots you into this like minute-long cinematic that you can skip, but it's like, do I care enough about the story to like really like dive into this, or do I really just want to get back to extracting because it takes 10 minutes for me to build my loadout and I want to get back to actually playing the game? And Jake, I think again, that is something that Jake, having played Destiny for so long, it's kind of ingrained in him. That's one of the ways that you extract information about the story. I am not like, that does nothing for me. So, and I probably complained about this when we were streaming, Will, but I was like, why are there so many notifications? Like, and some of the pages have like a, well, it was like a certain page will have like a mark all, as seen, but it doesn't do everything on all the pages. It's like just that page. It's, oh God, it's so annoying.
And speaking,
anyway,
not to belabor the marathon talk, but even speaking of storytelling, like Destiny, I could forgive a little bit because like there were opportunities to tell you about the story as you were playing the mission, radio calls, talking with people. But in this game, they can't do that because you could just die immediately and you're not respawning. They're not like talking to you as you're going in and presenting it in this sort of handcrafted way. It's just like, we got these cutscenes, check it off, cutscene. It's just wild.
I think Kyle, I think it's very telling that you said, hey, there's something this game does that Bungie does that they keep doing and it pisses me off. And I was like, oh, you mean having a cursor in the UI instead of, especially when playing on controller, instead of just letting you button or D-pad through the menus and then having to do a hold and confirm like they've been doing since Destiny 1. Like, I hate my Bungie prediction because I don't want it to be correct, but they keep making the same fucking mistakes for year after year after year after year. Is
that what they do on console? They have a cursor. What?
Yes.
Oh my! Yeah. I only play on PC, so
they've been doing that since Destiny 1. Yeah. So to go through the menus, you have to move a cursor, and then on some of the buttons, it's a hold to confirm.
I had no idea.
It's not a hold it. Yeah. It's fucked. They've been doing that since Destiny 1, and people have hated it. And it's like, I hate my Bungie prediction because I don't want it to come true. But if this is the Bungie we currently have, they keep making the same fucking mistakes. Like, people have been complaining about that shit since Destiny 1, and they just refuse to change and fix it.
But it's their vision, Ian.
Fuck off.
It's a work in progress.
Put some goddamn glasses on.
They must be blind. Oh, yeah, same joke.
But to talk about someone else who keeps making the same old mistakes, let's talk about Death Stranding 2 and how Kojima keeps making the mistake of making good games. Like,
fuck that guy.
It's his problem to manage. I'm not going to tell him how to do it, but he needs to learn. I really liked Death Stranding 1 when I played it. I think it's probably like 50 hours, 60 hours in that game. This has the exact same sort of get up and go and do everything that you possibly can mentality that I remember having with that game from the start of Death Stranding 2. Like, just that initial, so many people have talked about the opening cinematic in Mexico where you just sort of are going through, but just the impressiveness of the world in that moment and everything flowing over with the rain that starts coming down and it forming little rivers and eddies as the music is playing. Like, it really just sets the tone so well, and it looks really good on my computer, and it also runs flawlessly. Like, I am getting like above 60 FPS.
That engine is amazing.
It is rock solid, and it's so nice to not have to worry like, oh, am I gonna have to like turn everything down? I just set everything to like default, and it went, and it looks great. I also remember from the first game, that was the first ever Kojima game that I played from start to finish, like in pretty much one go, without playing like anything else in between. I remember having to readjust my expectations for how the story would be told. Where like, I've never played like a Metal Gear Solid game. Or at least not to completion. And I remember really finding a love for the way that the story sort of expanded on itself and introduced these weird new Kojima characters that are undoubtedly Kojima characters. And this game has the exact same sort of thing, but with a little bit more upfront exposition. And I actually really appreciate the codex that they give you, where it's like someone will say something, and then in the corner of the screen it'll be like, press this button to read the codex, and then it just tells you what that thing is, and then lists like, this comes from this, and you can like link those things together. I was like, great, because I forgot like a few different one of those things. I was like, I think the void out is when someone dies, and like someone said void out and it came up, and I was like, okay, great, I had that right. And just the way it sort of reintroduces and contextualizes terms from the story at a very easy pace. Like it's not so much exposition that you're lost in the sauce or just really, really kind of overwhelmed with what you're being presented with. It does go at the right sort of pace. I have, I think, 15 hours in it. I haven't gotten to spend as much time as I wanted, but the reason why I'm not further, I just finished chapter 3. The reason why I'm not further is because I am trying to like, not 100%, but I really want to get all the upgrades to like the basic equipment that you get by getting more stars on each of the delivery locations.
Oh, yeah.
Star 'em.
Yeah, so like I went back to Mexico and I started just doing like, okay, there's this one, the artist where she's like up in the mountain or whatever. She has like a bunch of deliveries that happen like you just go back and forth. And I ramped up her 5-star thing, and she gave me all these new paints. And then by doing that, it unlocked like a couple other deliveries that I was able to do. That I got the new the robot legs that you put on, the kind of like assistant things. I upgraded like the shotgun, the pistols, the assault rifles, all from doing just that base stuff. And I felt like, okay, I've spent enough time here that now I'm comfortable moving on. And having those upgrades just makes such a huge difference when dealing with the gazers or whatever they're called. The big ones. I also liked that like there's more variety of the BTs so far, where they have those big ones that will float and sort of like kind of not chase you down, but are like slow moving towards you. I feel like in the first game they didn't have that much of a sense of scale. Like there was more of the connecting, like the strands that you had to kind of navigate around. There was only like one part in the game so far that I had to kind of do that. But I like that it gives you so many different options and ways of dealing with them, that they don't feel like such a scary presence. And you could just avoid them straight up, because when you are tracking your route, it'll tell you, like, other players have said that this area has BTs, so you can be like, all right, I'm going to go this way. That means, I'll have to bring more ladders and more anchors and stuff like that. I really like the way you can customize everything. But I'm very, very interested in the story so far. I know you've both played it, right? And you both played it and you both liked it. How long would you say it took you to like do the story? I know, even if you didn't like 100% everything.
24 hours total. And I think I got most people to 2, maybe 3 stars. But so just one thing on the stars is it's good to go through the stars, but don't 5-star people, because they do something really shitty where it's like good upgrades through 4 stars, and then the 5th star is like, here's a color and a sticker.
It's not really worth it. Yeah.
No, and especially because it starts to slow down at the end.
It's like a hologram outfit,
or whatever it is.
Keychain.
Oh yeah, that's what they did. Yeah.
I beat it.
That's a 5-star reward.
Yeah.
49 hours.
Mine.
49 hours. Okay.
Mine may have been 30 or something. But the other thing is that this game, you can spend 400 hours in this game, or you could probably mainline it in 20. So it's really just whatever you're enjoying. Like, I spent a lot of time just building out the roads, because I was like, I'm enjoying doing this, so I'm going to do this for 3 hours. So the game is great for a lot of people. Complain the game is easy, but it's not that the game is easy. The game is almost like sandbox difficulty in terms of their like, you get to decide how difficult you want this to be. Like, you can use the truck everywhere and be super easy, or you can be like, no, I want to go clear the bases because I enjoy the combat, and that's going to be a little bit more challenging for you. You can decide to 5-star everything, and that's going to make it more challenging. So it's like, you can really mainline that if you want to. But other than that, if you want to take your time, take your time.
I also just want to say, it's funny you said clear the bases, because in the second chapter, the place you go to, or Australia, I guess, the very beginning of Australia, there's a base that you have to clear for a mission that I had cleared like before I got the mission. And like I got the mission and I was like, oh, I wonder if it's just gonna like skip it. And Dollman was like, looks like you already cleared the base, Sam. Like, great job. Go. And I was like, sweet, that's awesome. But the one other thing I want to say is, and this is almost singular to Kojima. There are obviously other developers that put stuff in there like this and little Easter eggs, but the quality with which Kojima inserts the things that he likes so that the players can experience them is almost second to none.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, if you follow him on Twitter or Instagram, he has his Sony MP3 player. I forget what it's called. It's like just for music or whatever. Yeah, it's like something like that. And they've implemented that into the menu system of the game, where like you collect these songs or you can find them or whatever, and then you can just play them. And I got to a certain point in Australia where I did a job for someone and I came back to the Magellan and I was just in the private room and Dollman was like, oh, Sam, it looks like you got this song on your MP3 or whatever. And I was like, yeah. And it kept saying like, talk to Dollman. I was like, okay. So then you go and you play it and then you are sort of taken into this room that's like a glass table that you have a camera that you can 360 around, and then Dollman comes down as the song starts and starts like dancing, and then the musical artist of the song comes down and does like a full-on music video with you. I was stunned. It was like 4 or 5 minutes long and I was like, what is happening? This is so weird, but also like I added that song to like my Apple Music playlist on my phone, and like it's in my rotation now. I think that there's just something really special about taking time away from the story to showcase, hey, here's a cool random thing that we just spent time on that we really, really didn't have to. Probably took like a week's worth of effort from, some random programmer and animator on the team. But it really just made that moment special. And that's something that I will remember. Just like it felt like you stumbled upon it naturally. And I love when games do that. And it's totally like just out of left field, but also fits within how weird the world is of Death Stranding and Kojima's tendencies. And I really, really liked it. So I'm looking forward to more just weird stuff like that as I continue to play.
It's great.
I'm happy to report that you have multiple musical numbers to look forward to in that game.
Great. Yeah. And specifically, it was Horizon Dreamer, I think is the song by Daichi Miura.
There's one from the first game that I could sing it, but I don't know the words, so it'd just be me imitating a Japanese song, which I'm not going to do. But there's one that I always think of from the first game. That it was the song I would always pick every time I built a structure. I would make it play that song. It was good. It was a good song.
That's cool.
And it goes.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing. So
that's what you've been playing. Good. I haven't been playing Marathon or Death Stranding 2, but what I have been playing is with my AYN Thor. I've been going through Super Mario World because Super Mario World's a fantastic video game and it's a great way to test out a console. I'm in Chocolate Land.
Tasty.
Which is after the 4th or 5th castle. So I think I'm headed to the 6th castle, and I've just been, casually playing it. I've got that on the top screen. The bottom screen, I've got the GameFAQ in that Pixel Diary app that remembers exactly where you are. You can scroll with it, all that sort of stuff. And I've just been going through that. And then I've been playing that, and I've also been playing Virtua Tennis for the Dreamcast on there. And that game fucking rules! It is so good. It is so good. And it runs fantastic, and I smack those balls right back at those naughty boys. It's just very, very good. Both these games load up exactly where I was every time I start the game up. All my hotkeys are working. I can save state, load state. I save state I loaded a state instead of saving state at one point, and it's great. In RetroArch, you can undo state change and go back. Nice. So if you accidentally do that, And I'm playing a bunch of other games when like something pops up or someone talks about something on a podcast. I'm like, oh, let me see if it's on my Thor, and I'll go pop into it. But it's been super fun. I'm trying to get to the point where it's Russ from Retro Game Core has been talking about it lately, where with a lot of his handhelds now, he puts specific games on them because those are the games he's playing, and he doesn't want to get flooded with the choice. And so I'm trying to put the games I'm playing on the home menu of the game of the console. So it's like, okay, these are the ones I'm playing through right now. Like I was playing some Neo Turf Masters, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna like complete through these. And that's been a lot of fun. It's an awesome device that just kind of does everything you want it to do out the gate. And it's fun.
Did you pick a launcher yet, or what's your
I'm using
interface
Cocoon,
for?
which
I
is
haven't
really
heard
great.
that one.
I realized I don't know if I showed that off. I can show it to the camera folks. So right now, as you can see, I'm playing Super Mario, and I can back out of that, and then I have
Which one is that? Which console is that?
This is the AYN Thor.
Okay.
And then so I have all.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
And this is this is something someone made. It just let me install it. So they like picked up all the games and everything. And then
that's great because the library is on the bottom, right? So you got the system on the top and the library on the bottom. Yeah, that's perfect for that device.
It's super awesome. And then like I was saying, like I can come in here. I can load up a game, and then I've got that little hotbar down there, so I can open Google, go to there. I can open the Pixel thing, go to there, or I could open up Plex and start watching something. And I did not know this the last time I was doing this, but this button in the middle is actually a button and brings up the AYN Thor stuff. And so I can set it to like performance mode. Stuff. I can turn off specific screens. I can do all sorts of stuff. So.
Nice.
It's highly worth it.
That's great.
If you're the day you order it, they say it's about 2 months to get it. I got mine in a month, which was just kind of lucky because I ordered at the tail end of a batch. But they're really great. I've been playing it. I've played it more than any other handheld I've bought. Like nice. Immediately played. Like I've probably played some of them more, but like I'm constantly playing it. Like I brought it to a wedding last weekend and was sitting at the table playing Mario. I brought it to the movies to play before we saw Hail Mary. It's just, and it fits right in your pocket and just walk around with it. Highly recommend it.
Definitely
outside
bookmarking
of
that page.
Yes.
So just real quick before you move on this,
yeah, sure.
I wish I could pull it up, but Steam is now available on the AYN Thor.
Oh,
nice.
I was.
Yeah, you should look into that because basically Steam released their ARM version of Steam OS, and I think so. You could technically install it. There's people installing Steam on cracked Nintendo Switches now, which is wild. What? But I believe it also opened up basically like better Proton on Android devices as well. Android ARM devices, including the Thor. So basically, like you technically could play like Steam Windows games using like BackKit or something, but it was always kind of wonky. But this opens a whole new easier
you can also
path to play Steam
games to it. But I think Vinny was talking about that as well. And also Android apps. Any Android apps or releases you can just play. And you can play Switch games. I don't think you can play Switch 2, but you can play Switch games. It's great. Moving on, Resident Evil 9. I feel like I'm almost done with it. I'm in the action chapters. It's just super fun. It's super really good. Capcom did a great job. It just feels like good Resident Evil. I'm scared. I'm upgrading my guns. I'm shooting boys. There was a mini chapter where I had to go first person and be in a scary place again, and that wasn't super fun because it's very scary and scary gray children with red eyes. They haunt me. But yeah, I have no idea what any of the story means in anything of that game other than like basic gist of things, but they keep referring to stuff and I'm like, I think I follow what's going on here. But it's Resident Evil. It's just for the gameplay. And it feels really good. And then this other game I've been playing, Terraformental. This is a I want to say incremental. It is an incremental game, I think. It's like it's all text based, and you're like, okay, I'm waking up, I'm walking over to this thing, and this takes time. I'm moving over to this place, and there's a counter down as you're doing it. I need to collect food, so let's search the room. The thing that pops up for me is that, you ever play A Dark Room?
No.
That makes me think of that. Google that. It's a free game. That's super fun. You're like collecting wood and lighting fires and exploring and stuff. So it's that type of video game. And it's really freaking good. You wake up on a base on a planet, and you don't know what's happening. You are in cryosleep, and it's like, open cryopod, get out of cryopod, drink some water, and like all these little things, like investigate this part of the room, that part of the room. And then you get to a point in this game where you may be redoing things that you've done before. And I don't want to talk anymore about that because it'll spoil a bit of the story stuff. But maybe one of those times when you back up in the cryopod, you just hit the button that says get up, and it does the 15 actions that are required to get up and out of there. Or once you're like, hey, I found this route to this other place on this loop, and I know how to get there now. I'm just going to click this button that says gather all supplies in area X, load into truck, get truck, and drive to place. Like, after you've discovered these things. And the first time you do those things, you have to individually do all those things. But this second time, but third or fourth time, it's condensing it and making it easier for you to get back to where you were. You have to manage food, water, and air. And those problems like start to work themselves out the further you get into the game. It's super fun for a game that, I feel like I always have to pitch this, which I don't, but it's a game with no visuals other than like a map. But you're just reading log entries, clicking on buttons, and going through things. It is $6 on Steam. I highly recommend it. It's super fun. Just as a incremental idle game. I was playing it every morning, and then I had to stop because I wasn't getting work done. And I was like, so I highly recommend it. It's a good time. And those are the games I've been playing. They're fun. Ian Gibson, you've been playing video games. Why don't you take off that mask and reveal your other one?
Hell yeah. Let's I finished Majora's Mask. Finished it this week. I think thank you. It was a bit of a struggle there. There was several points in that series where I was like, what if I just stopped playing this fucking game? The game is good. I understand why people love it, but it is very hard to play that game today for the first time because you're struggling with controls, which are not great. You are struggling with knowing what to do, where sometimes they will drop very subtle hints and other times they will drop no hints at all, and you're kind of just supposed to experiment. So I was heavily relying on a walkthrough. And there are other times where the game came out in 2000, and there are times where it feels like a 2000 ass video game in terms of they're just like, hey, what if we just like kick you in the nuts for a while, you know? Like, what? Hey, thank you for playing. How about fuck you for playing this game? I'll give you a perfect example. I was in the final boss fight, and the way the final boss fight happens is that you have to go to a certain point in time, and then you go to a location, and then you start the fight. And the fight is like, I think it's 3 different phases, but then there's like, let's say 2 phases within each of those. So let's say there's 6 phases total. So anyways, I go there. I know this is coming. So I like made sure I had full health, full potions, full bombs, full arrows, and I had 2 fairies. And I was like, great. And I start the fight, and it's a little challenging, but I'm doing okay. I get all the way to the last phase of the fight, and I die. And I'd run out of fairies. I'd run out of arrows. And I was like, okay. I mean, they had jars in the boss room, but the jars were just giving arrows. They weren't giving magic. They weren't giving hearts or anything. I was like, okay, whatever. The game respawns you outside of the boss room with all of your consumables gone, and you have 3 hearts.
Yeah,
I was just like, You got to be fucking kidding me. Because the other thing, I don't know this for certain, but I believe the only way to then, and there's no pots. Sometimes when you do the run back, there'll be pots along the way so you can like restock your stuff along the way. No pots in here for you to restock. And then I'm not certain about this, but I was thinking about it. I was like, if I had to try and refill all my stuff before doing the boss fight again, I think I would have to Song of Time to the beginning of the first day, go around, collect shit, and then get to the time later to then re-enter the boss fight. So basically it's like a 15-minute run back to also get your resources. Whereas in a modern game, right, they would spawn you back before the boss fight and you would have all the materials you had before the boss fight. Sure. Like it wouldn't be permanent consumables. And it's just shit like that just makes this game so difficult to play. And I'm sure if you played this game when it came out, if you played this game within 10 years of it coming out, it would probably not have aged that much. And so you still would have been okay with it. I've heard the 3DS version fixes a lot of those issues, even though people have problems with the 3DS version. But this game desperately needs a remake. It would be fantastic to see a remake of this, because I do think at its core, it's got some great design. It's got some great characters. It's got some interesting puzzles and things. It's just a lot of that quality of life shit is missing. And it's also right at the tail end. Like I said, it's 2000. It's right at the tail end of that shit being acceptable. Like if that game came out 2 or 3 years later, the review score would have been 2 or 3 points lower, because it would have been like, why haven't you made all these quality of life updates that video games now have? And it just barely snuck under the wire in terms of a lot of that bullshit being acceptable, you know? So it's like, I'm glad I played it. I did enjoy parts of it. I'm not sure if somebody has never played it before, I cannot recommend it, honestly. I would say at least play the 3DS version, or just wait for the remake at some point, because it is worth playing, but it is not going back to the N64 version. Because even I was playing the PC port. So again, when I got kicked out of that boss fight and I had 3 hearts left, I looked right in the camera on stream and I said, "Fuck this, I'm cheating." And I turned on infinite health and infinite consumables, and I went back in the fight and I finished it. Because I was like, I'm not going to spend 20 minutes on stream like resetting everything just to do another boss run when I was literally on the last phase. So I'm glad I finished it. I mean, Will, I know you were talking about possibly replaying it because you were, getting nostalgia hits watching me playing it. Are you thinking about doing that?
Yeah, I still got to boot it up. But yeah, I think I would play it. But all of your sticking points are like, I would be playing it with save states. I don't think I wouldn't be going through any of those pain points either. And also, if at any point I got annoyed, I'd be like, well, I've played this game before, and I would be like, I got my fill of nostalgia. I don't need to play it again.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree.
A remake would be a banger though. If they, like I said, that core game is still good. They just gotta quality of life the shit out of it and up the graphics and controls and stuff,
Yeah, give everyone huge fucking breasts, right?
Huge knockers.
We need
There's
those.
cows in that game.
No peach fuzz on those ladies' faces.
Hey, okay, moving on, folks. What
am I too woke for? I don't know why I did the Nixon thing.
Would be 3.
I have been afflicted.
Whoa, Kyle's been to the meetings.
I have been afflicted with the same sickness that a lot of the world has, which is space craze, with Artemis 2 and all that shit happening. And one of the ways I have been treating my symptoms is by going back and playing some more Kerbal Space Program. I played a little bit of Kerbal Space Program 2, because again, Kerbal Space Program 2 has a shitload of quality of life updates, but it's not feature complete and it's missing a lot of stuff, and it also has bugs. Well, I mean, both games have bugs, but I think KSP2 has slightly more bugs. So then I went back to KSP1 and I've been installing mods, and we did a stream series the other day, but I'm just having fun. I'm building a space station and like I'm using MechJeb to like do like automatic docking, where like you're basically like you're like, I want to dock with this thing, so I set it as a target, and then it's not like jumping you to it. It's basically inputting the actions as if it's the player. Which is nice to see it do it, but it's also interesting because it is fucking up about 10% of the time. And so it's one of those things where it's like, it's not like you could start playing the game and just use MechJeb, because you would never realize when it's fucking up. and you would not be able to jump in and correct it when it's fucking up. So it really does feel like it feels like I'm a NASA astronaut where they're not doing the calculations on their own. They're having the computer do it, but they need to know how to tell the computer what they want and how to check the computer to make sure it's interpreting and doing the moves correctly. So it's really cool. And I literally had to get a notebook out, and I started having to take notes here because space stations are hard because you need to bring the piece up there, right? But then the piece needs to be covered in docking ports so that once you get it up there, it can actually stick to the other parts, right? But then you also need to think about like, oh, if I have a crew habitat on the right side and the spaceship that docks on the left side, then I need to have a like pressurized path all the way through those parts. Like if I have a fuel tank in the middle of it, then it blocks the path for the astronaut to get through the space station around to the other module. And so like I've started like making these like modularized things where it's like blocks where literally I can just like decouple parts of the space station and like flip it around. And I have like basically like tractors in orbit where it's literally just a block with a fuel tank and like RCS thrusters and a comm antenna. So if I need to, I can just detach it, move it around, dock to the piece that I want to move it around. And so it's very early days, but I'm just having a lot of fun doing that because I never did. I don't know, Will, did you ever build a space station in your KSP plays?
I think I started one, but that was the height of my kingdom in Kerbal.
Yeah, it's still a great game. It sucks that it basically got abandoned, and KSP2 got abandoned before they even added mod support, which sucks. If they had at least gotten to that, then the community would have taken care of it. And I'm super excited for Kitten Space Agency. Have you seen that, Will?
Yeah, didn't we watch that trailer together?
I think so. So it's basically the original creator of Kerbal Space Program is making a new game called Kitten Space Agency, and it's very similar to Kerbal. And it actually, I believe it has a free, it's like a free open alpha. I downloaded it and I cannot even get it to launch. It is very early. It's missing a lot of shit. It needs, they basically said like, hey, it's 2 to 3 years from early access release. So I'm super excited for that when that comes out, because it feels like that is the next Kerbal Space Program, basically, where a lot of the community and the devs are going. But it's just nice to play KSP1 with mods for now. So it's still fantastic. And it's the more popular now than it's ever been. And just seeing people all over Twitter and Blue Sky post nice screenshots of all the shit they've been building is a lot of fun.
Love it.
Last game I've been playing is Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream. I've played an hour of this. We've started our new series, Subpixel Island, and it feels like a success already. Like we've had some.
Joe made Judge Biden Fat Pussy. Fell. We made Judge Fat Pussy.
Yes, that's right. Joe Biden falling was insane. Like, so just to set the stage, I already had Joe Biden in the game from the demo. So he came in, we started it, we met Joe Biden, we talked to him a little bit, we were doing other stuff, and then all of a sudden we saw like an emergency signal on Joe Biden, and I was like, oh, Joe Biden's dying, and we go over there, and he's on the floor, and it literally says, Joe Biden has fallen, and he cannot get up. And I had to use my hand to pick him up. Yeah, it's so good, and we're very early. Because I forget that there's like all the stuff you can buy for the house. You can customize the island. We have 4 or 5 people on the island right now. And the stream went slow today, but not in a bad way, because like we were making Miis and we were like enjoying it so much that we were taking our time with it. And then even when it was just like, my Mii was like, hey, buy me some clothes. We spent like 8 minutes on that because we went to the clothing store and we were like, oh my God, we can buy the judge robe for Judge Fat Pussy. We can buy the beige suit for Joe Biden. And we just like went clothes shopping for like 8 minutes. This game is going to be incredible. And I'm like, the plan is to basically stream this every open weekday. So we're going to stream it again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time, and just do this for several weeks until we get tired of it, because I think it's just going to get crazier and crazier. It's great.
I after that stream, I booted it up on my save, and I added Jean-Luc Picard, who is now there hanging out. I never was one for making Miis until this is going to show ignorance, but it's in the same way. Before I was painting, I thought artists just came up with what they wanted to paint and painted it on the painting. And in my head, looking at reference photos was cheating. Like, not actually, but that's the way I thought. And then I started painting, and I'm like, no, I'm using fucking reference photos. Of course, what am I, a god? Like, of course I'm going to do this. Like, and so that kind of unlocked where it's like, oh, I'm making Mii's now, but I'm making Mii's of people or things that exist. So like, I load up a picture of Jean-Luc Picard, and I can just like spend time putting it together and making it look really good. And I thought it came out fucking great. So I've got to make more people. I only got to the point where I put my Mii in a Wild West house or interior house, and so he was really enjoying that. I also made it my Will. Whenever he stands still, he does a little dance to the beat, which is real great because he basically dances the exact way I dance.
I just remember on our stream today where as you dick around with your Miis, you hit a point where you're like, hey, guess what? You get to either give this Mii a free gift or give them a quirk or give them an expression, you give them a stance. and it was my Mii that I got the chance to do it. And we were like, oh, we give an expression, we give this. And we were just going through the menus, and we noticed one of them was how do they stand? And it was like, they stand with a hunchback. And I clicked on it, and it was just me with my hunchback. And it was like, it literally, I don't remember if you noticed this, Will, but it literally said at the bottom, it was like, they stand bending over with a poor posture. And I was like, fuck, they got me. They fucking got me. And we had to pick that because it was me exactly. It's like, damn it.
It's really good. Napoleon and myself bonded over, I made them talk about the Napoleonic Wars. And I saved their interaction, but Napoleon's like, it was great to learn so much about the Napoleonic War. I was like, buddy, you lived it, man. And so we're hanging out, and
that's great.
It's just also Jean-Luc Picard and Napoleon bonded over toe sucking, which I forgot Karen and I had put in the game.
That's canon.
So people keep talking about it. Makes it quite weird.
God.
But yeah, I'm excited for more stuff in that. I keep feeding people things to see if they'll get the excited thing. Oh, there's one of the quizzes in the game. So you like talk to a character, they'll be like, do you want to take a quiz? And it's a close-up quiz. So it's something zoomed really far in, and then you have to be like, what is this? A blank, a blank, or a blank. And you're like, I think the zoomed in picture is this. And then they reveal it. And so I got to the third one, and there was nothing there. I was like, what? And so I just picked a random one, and it went, no, it's black licorice. And the black licorice picture zoomed out but came up into frame as it zoomed out. So I guess whatever anchor point is on the black licorice is not at the center of the screen.
But part of me is like,
is that a joke?
This game's so good that I'm almost like, it could have just been an intentional joke.
It was so because there was literally no way to know what they were showing me. There was nothing on the screen.
I thought you were gonna, like, it was just white. Like it was just blank.
It was just like the background of the area it's supposed to be in.
Okay.
So yeah. I was just like, what? Do they want me to answer the background? I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, it's really good. I'm excited to play more of it. It's out on the Switch 1, so you can play it on your Switch 2. Too many good games coming out. Even this week, everyone that works talking up Pragmata. And I'm like, and there was literally talk today of whether it was probably going to beat Resident Evil 9 at the Game of the Year discussions. And I went, shit, that means I'm going to have to play this game.
Yeah.
So,
I'm definitely getting it. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I mean, we'll talk about it more next episode because neither of us, any of us has played it. But hearing everybody talk about this game, this feels like one of the most universally liked games. Everybody's just like, yeah, it's great. Like it's weird. Nobody's saying like, oh, it's game of the year. The most I've heard is people being like, this is my favorite game that I've played in a while. But nobody dislikes the game. Nobody hates the game. Nobody even has major flaws with the game. It's just how much they enjoyed the game, you know? And it's that got me to a point where I was like, yeah, this game looked cool and everybody's loving it. So yeah, I should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'm real excited for it. I've been doing that cool thing where I just buy video games, even though I was like, this year I'm not going to buy as many new releases, and then I just buy video games. My hobby's buying
good,
video games.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I do think the girl looks weird. Something about her character model just looks strange to me.
Well, she is.
But you know, she's not a girl,
robot,
right?
She's a robot.
She's a robot.
I don't know any.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
And apparently,
still
she's
a
the best
she?
part of the game.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we assigned a gender to the robot. Kyle.
I'm just
Jesus.
making sure we're not
What
being
was the
sexist.
what was the sign
all right?
again? It was the W or something. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Officer.
No, the only thing I know about pragmata or
I
how do you
don't know.
pronounce it?
Mike keeps
Pragmata.
saying we're all saying it wrong, and we're all like, we're just
No.
gonna say pragmata.
I think it's like stigmata, but
No,
prog.
in the game they pronounce it differently. It's pragmata in the game.
Fuck off.
Or pragmata.
That's just the
Something.
Japanese being weird again. Fuck
No,
off.
I think it's just they never said the name until the game came out. Is the problem?
Oh, okay.
We'll
But
see.
yeah, the only thing I know about it is that Zach thinks it's a Mega Man prequel game. That's like the only thing I know.
Yes,
about
there
it.
was a big rumor. It's not.
But I think they'd start doing a lot of tongue-in-cheek jokes in the game. So I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I think they're just leaning into the weirdness.
Yeah.
The weirdness. Folks, those are the games we've been playing this week. I didn't put a year in here for discussion. I thought, which could be fun, unless we want to get out of here. It is a little early.
Christ.
I thought we each pick a year and pick our own game of the year for the year.
No, we don't get to catch up. Let's just get out of here. We've been here since 20.
Okay. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I saw all the people popping off in the chat. Love the invisible ink. We will be back tomorrow, like Ian said, at 5 p.m. Eastern with some Tamagotchi Life. And then next week we got more sweet content coming to you live from our houses. Kyle Bailey, thank you so much for being here.
You got it. Always
Ian
happy.
Gibson, I hate you.
Thanks for having me.
And
God bless.
you know,
He is
it would
risen.
help if I play the intro. And everyone watching, it's been so much fun. You know what? I'm gonna fix it in post, everybody. It's gonna be a great time, and none of this is gonna make sense. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.